Hi, my name is Four, and welcome to the Love in Focus, the podcast for mums where we explore, discover, build community with our only child. Let's get going. Okay, you know what I mean. Let's start with the program. Oh my goodness. Do 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 do. If you didn't know what that theme was to a TV show, it is MacGyver. MacGyver, I don't know if you remember, it's the American TV show and it played in the 1985s to the 1990 something. And the main character for this TV show, he could get out of any situation. I mean, any with a pocket knife, one stick of bubble gum, a rubber band, and maybe like a paper clip and something else. Now, these five things, no matter what, this main character, MacGyver, he could get out of anything. So, with this episode, I'm just letting you know that I used a MacGyver. I was like, man. And so it was like, okay, when you go to a restaurant, and if you have a child and they're at that stage where you put them in a high chair, you give them a toy, and then they just throw it on the ground. And then you give it back to them. And what do? They throw it back on the ground. Now, depending if you're like, I'm done, you're not having any more toys, or I didn't even take anything, so you throw anything. So, what I used when Olivia was in that baby stage, when she was in a high chair, I ended up getting ribbons. Yep. I had like a ribbon. Don't ask me why at the time I had a ribbon, but I was like, hey, I'm going to tie this ribbon to her toy because I always have toys. You know, mums, we have so many things in our purse. I should do an episode like, what do you have in your purse for your only child? Because most likely it's just mainly for them. Like you got your snacks and everything else, but that'll be a different episode. So I had got a ribbon, tied it to that toy, one of her toys, and when I made sure, like I measured it, that she was able to grab it and she wasn't putting it around her neck or anything, but it was enough for her to reach it. I could put the toy on the table in front of her, and then I tied it to her high chair. And so she would pick it up in front, and it was okay if she put it in her mouth with the ribbon or whatever, if she just sucked on the ribbon. And when she threw it down, she looked at it, she went, huh. And I was like, yeah, it did not go on the ground. Mummy is not, no, daddy is picking it up. And then she'll pick up a toy again. Or, one of us is always sitting beside her. So we'll just get the toy and, give it to her. And she would throw it. But what was fun was I did not have to reach down on the ground for the toy or even look for it because who knows where it went depending on how far she threw it, and then you got to clean it, and then you got to, while you clean, just spritz spraying, disinfecting it with your spray or whatever. Then you got to wipe it down because you don't want the chemicals. All this stuff, it goes into our mind, right, mums? And then you either got to wait because it's not dry or whatever. Or you're like, I'm done. No more toys. But this way, it really worked for our family. And in the end, what I started to do, I started to get different types of ribbons. Yes, I did. I had different colors, and that way I was still introducing colors to her in a different way at the restaurant. And then I got to get different types of size ribbons. And then some ribbons had like a definite print on it so she could feel it, and then different textures of the ribbon because I wanted her to have fun exploring and still discovering why she's looking at things. And she'll put it inside her mouth and she'll eat it, but it didn't bother me one bit. So I always made sure the ribbons were safe because at that stage, depending if your child, I mean, maybe some children out there like, no, my child doesn't put anything in their mouth. They're cool. Okay, that's awesome. My child was not like that. exploring all their senses. And so, yeah, I had different what can I say? Color ribbons, and there were different textures and different size. But I did not have like five toys out in front of it. I always had one or two, and then I could exchange it, depending how long we're sitting at the restaurant or the location. And that way she is entertaining herself. Her father and I could just enjoy the conversation without having to like, gonna pick up this. It's your turn. And it worked for us. So I would recommend one or two, or maybe one, because mums, we always have toys in our bag, you know, and it might be like, well, this is their restaurant toys, or, when we go to certain places, is their favorite toy, so they stay in more engaged. And that way, we didn't mind going to the restaurant with her, because it just took me a little bit to make sure I had my ribbons, and I put them in a plastic bag, and that way, you know, I was well prepared. And it might take a little bit of time just to prepare. Like if I don't have any ribbons around my house, what am I going to use? I would recommend something that, because remember, they're going to put it inside their mouth. So if you're using a string, make sure it's safe. Always make sure it's safe as well, because you don't want them to cut themselves or get tangled up. I always use ribbons that were safe for her if she's going to suck on it, and then the length is not too long. It was short enough for her to, tie it to the high chair, but the toy was in front of her and she could pick it up easily. And if she wanted to wave it around, not to, not everywhere, she wasn't swinging it like a yeehaw. No, it was for her to engage in it, so her father and I could still enjoy a meal, have a conversation. And you'd be surprised, a lot of people walk past us and like, that is such a great idea. And I was like, I know, right? It is. It's a MacGyver. I would say to myself, I'm like, yes, it is. And there might be some devices. There was one at the time, and I think it was kind of like an apple section device, where this plastic apple, you put it on the table. It had a little suction thing at the bottom, and you open up the apple, and some plastic, like, I don't know what you call it, not strings, but they would come out attachments, and you can attach it to the toy. Same concept. Olivia liked it as well. So I had that, but depending on how she was feeling, she would just rip that rip that apple off the table. And it's because it depends on the table as well. Some tables, no matter how much you stick that apple on, and we use other devices, well, it just wouldn't stick as well. But she surely did enjoy that, the apple section. And I tried different things trying to stick it on, some devices, and it just didn't work as well as the ribbon. And you can just have fun with the ribbon. And you might find some other devices. I know some parents have like electronics, and that works for them. So whatever works for you. Or some parents like, no, I don't take anything at all. My child is just happy to sit there, and they just engage with their food. That's awesome as well. Whatever works for you. But I'm just saying, if you're looking for something different and you want to take some toys, but you really don't want to pick it up, like, I was like Arnold Schwarzenegger, pick it up, put it down, pick it up. Okay. You're like, that does not sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Up and down, up and down. Then I would highly recommend using ribbons, because it worked for me in that way as well. So let me know if you have any more ideas in the comment. Leave a comment or feedback on what you think. Because you're going out to a restaurant and you're taking your little one. Maybe because you don't have a babysitter, in your location, and you don't know who to trust your baba with, or you don't have any family right now as well to watch your child for an hour or two, or you just like our family. We just enjoy going together as a family, and we want to enjoy that time. So we just found a better way of really engaging our time without having to go cray cray. So, Mom, I want to say that, you're listening to this. I just want to remind you, you are the best mom for your family. You're an awesome wife. You're doing the best you can with the time that's given. And if you're on a bus listening, you're going to work, you know, thank you for listening. You are the best mom for your child. You're going out there, you're building your dream, you love what you do. Or you're like, I just want to make some extra money on the side, or I just want to learn about some other things and I enjoy doing what I do and I have an only child. Congratulate yourself because you're evolving. You want to explore more, discover more. That is awesome. So I just wanted to remind you just how wonderful and amazing you are. You come home, you feed your family, and then you probably do the dishes or laundry, vacuuming, or whatever you do. You're doing something. It's a lot, and you serve so many people. And so I just wanted you to hear my heart that you might be wondering, does anyone see me? Does anyone know of what I'm doing? I see you. And the mums who are listening, we see you too. Even though there's not a lot of no one say, we see you. We appreciate you. And we know what it's like to have an only child. So I wanted to say, well done. And I always remind my moms who are listening to this, if you want to have a friend, you got to be a friend as well. And I wanted to encourage you to be a friend to yourself. What does it look like? It's saying kind words to yourself, it's encouraging yourself, it's speaking to your heart, and just smiling and celebrating who you are. Because you are amazing. You're very supportive of your husband. You're helping your child grow and be the best who they can be. And then you're encouraging yourself, and you're in a new environment or you're in a new season, and you're like, boy, I do a lot. Yes, you do. You are. And so that's why I wanted to let you know, as a mom of an only child, that I get it. And I'm only of a child who is 6 years old. Just letting you know, you are amazing. And for all the ups and downs and laughter that we go through. And sometimes there are days where you're like, that whoopsie daisy, what was that all about? And some days you're like, oh my goodness, I need a MacGyver day. Or other days you're like, nope, I just want to have a chippy and a chocolate day. And that is it. Whatever day you're feeling, I just wanted you to hear my heart and say how much, we appreciate you. We absolutely do value you and what you bring because of who you are. And so I wanted you to encourage, and I'm so thankful that you get to listen, we get to listen, that I get to talk to you, because as you can hear, I wanted to do this channel to let you know in the episode, hey, here's an experience, went to a restaurant, had to get ribbons, because I just wanted to find a way where it'll be more enjoyable for my family and I to sit together without having to say, ugh, this is so annoying. I didn't want to, I didn't want to give that vibe out to my daughter and saying what you're doing is annoying and we don't have enough time. We don't have a wonderful time. I wanted her to know, Daddy and I love you, and we just Mummy found a better solution so we can all just have fun while we're together, because she's learning and growing. They're a toddler and they just love to, at their stage, throw things or just to explore and discover, as we are doing as adults. I'm sure we may not be throwing our toys, but I know, like, metaphorically, I'm probably throwing something. And, I got to learn, hey, there's a better way of doing things. So, Mum, thank you for listening. And I so appreciate it that you came to this podcast, Love and Focus, building community with our only child, and we're discovering and exploring it with our only child whom we love, and we're the best mom for them. So thank you for listening once again. This is for keep love and focus one episode at a time. I will meet you in the next episode. Bye.